sick today. The suicide rate for middle-aged women, aged 45 to 64, jumped by 63% over the period of a study, while it rose by 43% for men in that age range. The sharpest increase for males of any age. The overall suicide rate rose by 24% from 1999 to 2014. According to the National Center for Health Statistics, the increase was so widespread that they lifted the nation's suicide rate to 13 per 100,000 people, the highest since 1986. The rate rose by 2% a year starting in 2006 and doubled the annual rise in the early period of the study. Listen to this. In all, 42,773 people died from suicide in 2014, compared to 29,199 in 1999. It almost doubled. I don't know the statistics for this year, for the past year, but it has been increasing exponentially. The rate of abortion is in thousands. We're here to dedicate a baby today, but some people are killing babies, and America has perfected it. I don't know the direction in which America is going, because we encourage abortion. Roe versus Wade came into effect in the 1960s. And since then, judges that are appointed into the Supreme Court, they endorse abortion. They say we are in an election period now. And what I tell people, look at the platform of the two parties and not individuals. But some of us are going to vote our emotions. We must vote as Christians and not because of what we want from a political party. A revival is needed in this nation, but I fear, my spirit fears, that this country will start coming down. My spirit fears that starting from 2017, there will be a decline in this nation. The Bible says that we must ask for a revival. There is no more urgent concern in heaven today than for the church to complete its task of world evangelization. God wants a full house for the wedding supper of his Son to his bride, the church. Christ's return will be delayed until all people everywhere hear the good news. We have to do our own part here in the city that has been allocated to us. Then the inadequacy of our witness and harvesting can delay his coming back. The task of world evangelization is primarily dependent upon witness and prayer. My son just talked about prayer. Prayer must prepare way for evangelization. Prayer must follow up and conserve the fruit of evangelization. Only as the church prays will there be sufficient harvests. In Matthew chapter 9, verse 37, then said he unto his disciples, Matthew 9:37. The harvest truly is plenteous. There are so many people that need to be harvested, but the laborers are few. Verse 38 says, pray ye, therefore, the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. We need laborers. In Psalms 22, verse 27, all the end of the world shall remember and turn unto the Lord, and all the kindreds of the nation shall worship before thee, only if we evangelize. Jesus will not come until the gospel is preached to the whole world. Matthew chapter 24, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Every great outpouring of the Holy Spirit, including Pentecost, they were there for many days, locked up. They were praying. Began in the mind of God, but it broke through the earth through passionate and persevering prayer and intercession. There are many great men. You look at your bulletin. God is not a dictator. He allows us a free will. If he's a dictator, he wouldn't have allowed Eve to eat the fruit and cause all the problems. He was there seeing her, but she shows what to do. God is not a dictator. But if we commune with him regularly, we will know what he wants. This is why prayer and global harvest are so inseparably linked. I know of no revival that is not connected in some way with powerful and intercessory prayer. There was a man, Evan Roberts. Evan Roberts was asked the secret of revival. He said, there is no secret. And you shall receive. Ask, and you shall receive. John Wesley said, there is no secret. Ask. God does nothing redemptive in the world except through prayer. Matthew Henry agreed of the importance of prayer in bringing revival when he said, when God intends a great mercy for his people, the first thing he does is set them and pray. These are all people who experience revivals in this world, and we need to follow their precedents. You must reject the devil's offer in order to go far. This nation has to reject the devil's offer in order to go far. Any committee without commitment will commit crime. We are a committee of God's people. And if we do not commit to what we are calling this clarion call, the devil will take over. Some people run after revenue instead of revelation. If you rest on Jesus, he will take care of the rest. Some people are after titles instead of mantles. We are calling for one day this year that we should come together and evangelize to the city. You need to take some action in order to see God in action. Those actions must provoke divine unction before things begin to function in your city and for you. That's why we are calling for this revival. George Whitefield and John Wesley. George Whitefield was an Anglican clergyman. John Wesley was in the Catholic Church. John Whitefield decided to break away and started evangelizing, calling crowds together. They criticized him in England. John Wesley followed suit. They came to the Americas to preach. But what they told the American Indians, or some of the American Indian converts, convinced them about Pentecostalism, about the reality of God. So they went back to the UK, to England, and that started an awakening. They started with prayer, intense prayer. George Whitefield, David Brainerd, Jonathan Edwards, Charles Finney, Evans Robert. We reference their memories, we build their memorials, we sing their praises. We must imitate what they did. Each of these men could have pointed to a hallowed place by their bedside that was often wet with tears of intercession. These men prayed oftentimes in such travail or so that they laid exhausted in a pool of tears. For example, David Brainerd prayed in such agony or so that his body became abnormal. He prayed and regularly preached in his Indian native audience through a drunken interpreter, native interpreter. The result were thousands of converts. There was a man, you must have heard of him, John Knox, whose prayer shook Scotland, was so desperate in prayer that to see him upon his knees was a sight that inspired awe. Stories have it that the Queen feared him more than any other country that was going to invade England. He said, "Lord, give me Scotland or I die." God responded with a sweeping revival all over Scotland. George Fox so grieved God in travailing prayer that men were often afraid to look upon his face as he came out of his prayer chamber. James Duncan, preaching with great unction and power, was asked, what was the secret of such powerful preaching? The secret, he said, was 13 hours of consecutive prayer. What of the great Charles Spurgeon, who said, knee work, knee work. There are great American awakenings. The first great American awakening revival was by Jonathan Edwards. It swept through America from 1734 to 1743. Jonathan Edwards' Northampton, Massachusetts church in 1734, observers said, it pleased God to display his free and sovereign mercy in the conversion of a great multitude of souls in a short space of time, turning them from a formal, cold, and careless profession of Christianity to the lively exercise of every Christian grace and the powerful practice of our holy religion, unquote. The second great awakening was from 1800 to 1840 in the United States. In 1800, only 1 in 15 of America's population of 5 million, 5.3 million belonged to an evangelical church. There were 9 Presbyterian ministers. James McGrady presided over spiritual manifestations in Logan, Kentucky. We don't hear of revivals anymore. We don't hear of revivals anymore. Those who bring revivals, they end up with scandals. We don't hear of Holy Ghost revivals. It can start from this ministry. Amen. I'm telling you, it can start from this ministry. Amen. We have the second great awakening, started by John McGrady. Then in 1875 to 1885, we have the urban revivals. Young businessmen, Dwight L. Moody from Chicago, participated in Great Revival of 1857 as it swept Chicago. Moody later conducted revivals throughout the British Isles, where he spoke to more than 2.5 million people. In 1875, Moody returned and began revivals in American biggest cities. You remember the song, "It is well, it is well with my soul." We talk about the young businessman who left Chicago and who he sent his wife and his children to England. And somehow the boat capsized and all the 2 daughters died, but the wife was able to escape. She had a floater and another ship picked her up, and when she got to England, she sent there's no telephone in those days. She sent a cable message that she only survived. And the husband sent another message, "It is well." So the husband was going to meet her, and somebody said, "Look at the boat that capsized." And one great family, one woman with her children. The children died, but the woman survived. Not knowing that they were talking about the husband of that woman in that boat. And the husband wrote that song, "It is well with my soul." He was in L. Moody's church from Chicago. That was his pastor. Because of the great revival, they had hope that even if you die, you will resurrect again. They were so convinced about this urban revival. The businessmen's revival of 1857 to 1858. In 1857, the North Dutch Church in New York City hired a businessman, Jeremiah Lampier, to be a lay missionary. He prayed, "Lord, what would you have me to do?" Concerned by the anxious faces of businessmen in the streets of New York City, Lampier decided to open the church at noon so businessmen could pray. The first meeting was set for September 23, 3 weeks before the bank panic of 1857. 6 attended the first week, 20 the next week, then 40. Then they switched to daily meeting. Before long, all the space was taken. Persistence and other churches also began to open for the businessmen's prayer meetings. 15 revivals broke out everywhere in 1857, spreading throughout the United States and the world, sometimes called the Great Prayer Meeting Revivals. An estimated 1 million people were added to American church roll, and as many as 1 million of the 4 million existing church members also converted. There have been many revivals in this nation, but since I've been in this nation, I've not seen one. I've not seen one. The revivals of 1905 to 1906, word of the Welsh revival of 1904 to 1905, spread. Welsh-speaking centers in Pennsylvania in late 1904, and revival broke out by 1905. Local revivals blazed in places like Brooklyn, Michigan, Denver, Schenectady, Nebraska, North and South Carolina, Georgia, Taylor University, Yale University, Asbury College in Wilmore, Kentucky. Billy Sunday, who became a key figure about this time, preached to more than 100 million people with an estimated of 1 million conversions. Then came the Azusa Street Revival of 1906. In 1906, in 2006, I went to California. I went myself to the great 100th centennial remembrance of that day, and that it was in that centennial ceremony that T.D. Jakes was discovered. How was that T.D. Jakes? Nobody knew him. He was in Dallas small, but that revival brought him up. Azusa Street, William J. Seymour, an African-American holiness pastor, blind in one eye, went to Los Angeles to candidate for a pastoral job. But after he preached, he was locked out of the second service. He began prayer meetings in a nearby home. And the Spirit of God, I saw the home where he was praying, which they called the second blessing. He began prayer meetings after he was locked out from the second service, after he prayed, after he preached in the first service, practicing trying for a job. A nearby home in the Spirit of God, which they call the second blessing, fell after many months of concerted prayer. Eventually, the interracial crowds became so large, they acquired a dilapidated Methodist church at 312 Azusa Street, where daily meetings continued for 3 years. The resulting Pentecostal movement and the later charismatic movement, which both exploded worldwide in the 20th century, both trace roots from this revival. So it was actually a black man that started Pentecostalism right here in the United States. I can go on and on and on. In the 70s, I think it was exactly 1970, a group of hippies, rock band artists, this is interesting, they went to a crusade and they were converted. And then they decided to bring their guitars to the service, and they were thrown out. So they started holding meetings, and they were playing rock, and that's how the guitar, the piano, and all the other instruments, they came, that we now play kind of rock type of music, praising God. That was another revival that happened. It's now our turn to cause a revival. It's now our turn to bring a revival. Start with the little you can, and it starts with prayer. Finally, we need our own personal revival. Your own personal revival. In Psalm 80, verse 19. Psalm 80, verse 19. Turn us again, O Lord, God of hosts, cause thy face to shine, and we shall be saved. You need a revival in your life. As much as we need this global, this city-wide revival, you need a revival in your life. And it's going to start with prayer. It's going to start with repentance. In Acts chapter 3, verse 19, Acts 3, verse 19. Repent ye therefore, and be converted, that your sins may be blotted out when the times of refreshing shall come from the presence of the Lord. You saw the movie which I showed. There is one Daniel, and there are others partying in the colleges, in the streets, even going to the mall. Anywhere you go, demons are everywhere. They have been released into the nations. The Bible says, righteousness exalted a nation, and sin is a reproach. It brings reproach to you. That is why we must be converted and repent. Look at Daniel. In the top of his house, there are angels. This is actually happening. Angels are dispatched. Believe it or not. They move around us. In Psalm 34 verse 7, Psalm 34 verse 7, the Bible says, the angel of the Lord, they encamp around about them that fear him and deliver them in the time of trouble. They come to rescue. Angels are everywhere. I can even feel them right here now, right now. They are here because we are talking about Jesus. I feel them strongly. There's a strong presence of angels in this meeting this morning. Very strong. God will open your eyes. In Ephesians chapter 5 verse 14. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 14. Wherefore, he said, awake, thou that sleepest. Don't be naive. Demons have gone out to capture souls. And rise from the dead, and Christ shall give you light. He has called us out of darkness into his marvelous light. 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 9 called us out of darkness into his marvelous light.